Hello everyone, happy 2025. How has your January been going? Ours has been really, really great. And we thank you so much for keeping it in this channel, watching us as we explore different businesses in wine, spirits, hospitality, and all other things in between. I always bring you special people. And today I am so excited. So excited, really. Can you see the excitement? We're taking a trip to Europe via Nigeria or something like that and back to Kenya. I have this lovely lady, my sister Akinyi. First time in Kenya and she's been given a name Akinyi because she's a morning person.
I love it.
Welcome Chinedu, Rita Rosa.
Thank
or
you.
Vines by Rosa.
Exactly.
Karibu sana. Have you learned any Swahili? Have we taught you?
Horrible. My friends have just been giving me the best time and forgetting about the language.
Okay, nakupenda you know. Nakupenda is I love.
I know.
You know that one?
Yes, I know this one.
Do you know Mizabibu is grapes, I think. Anyway, we won't get technical.
We will start our classes. after the next visit, I'm going to go on my Swahili lessons.
Okay.
Definitely.
So 2 days ago, I walked into a room at Social House Nairobi. And there was there you are, bubbly. Hello, wine genius, and you gave me the biggest hug. And it was really like, have we met before? Because at first I didn't know it was you that we had been waiting for, right? But really, we are kindred spirits who have met from before. And I love your energy, I can feel it. But then of course, I've met you online.
Yes.
Through your social media networks. Yes. And you have a lot of Kenyan friends.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
My family. They are not my friends, they're my family.
Your family.
Yeah, it's my first time in Kenya that I know. And it's just been an amazing experience. I have just felt the love, the camaraderie, the family. The feeling I got here has just been palatable. I feel so good. Immediately I felt at home, right from the airport. It was so funny. I said, this is Lagos, you know? And even though I live in Bordeaux, even though I spend most of my time in Europe, Nigeria, Africa is my home.
Okay.
And finding another home in Africa was so touching for me. And because I have such great connections here, my sisters, like I called them, it was easy for me to just come into Kenya, Nairobi, and just feel straight at home.
Okay.
It was lovely. It's still lovely.
It's still lovely. So we're happy to have you.
Thank
but
you.
I mean, I don't understand why you took so long. But then I also remember the first time I went to Lagos, I think 2013. And I mean, I have all these Nigerian friends. And of course, I tell people, if you haven't been to Nigeria, you can't say you're African at all.
At all.
I need to come back. But you know what happened is, I had a friend who was living on the island. She was working for one of the large corporates.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't get to go to see proper Nigeria because she was on the island.
Those island people, you know yourself.
She was on the island, so I need to come back and really get in.
Come feel it.
And especially to our wedding.
Lagos wedding.
I want a Lagos
Niger wedding. I totally get you.
I want to wear all the outfits.
I know, right?
I want to
get all the makeup done.
Get all the makeup done. Gele, everything.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that experience.
I am going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Once I have a big wedding coming up, you are going to be one on the list.
There you go.
Because I think it's something we as Africans, we just feel this urge to beautify ourselves, make ourselves look presentable, which was passed on to us by our moms.
Sure.
And I'm so grateful for that. Never dress down, dress up.
I tried today, and you're looking very lovely. But okay, so what brings you to Nairobi?
Well, since I ashamed to say it's my first time, but very happy to say it's not going to be my last. I came to Nairobi with 3 of my wineries that I work with. I consult for wineries in Europe, the US, and South Africa. So Vines by Rosa is a consulting firm that was born out of frustration. Moving to France, I was, backstory, I was a banker, then went into wine imports with my late husband. And it was so exciting for me. I love wines. I love the world of wines. So I started studying, of course, like any sane person would do. And I think after a while, unfortunately, I lost my husband, and then I moved back to Nigeria. All this while I wasn't in Nigeria. I moved back to Nigeria in 2008, and I started working with a family business, my late husband's family business, a wine store. And that was where not just a passion of tasting, it now became a passion of, it became a job, you know? And we started growing the wine culture in Nigeria. And I honestly, I'm so proud to say that when I go back home, I see the way people are tasting wine and they tell me, no, Chicha, I don't like the mellow from Bordeaux. I like the mellow. I feel really blessed because that shows that what we were working on, I mean, how many years ago now, really took root and it has blossomed into something really big, like what I see here in Kenya. I am in awe of you ladies and the gentlemen here when it comes to wine education and your culture. So fast forward, I was working at the wine store till 2015, got remarried, moved to Bordeaux, my hometown now. And unfortunately, I couldn't get a job, even though I was their top importer in Africa. I mean, really, we were doing the best wines from Bordeaux then. And that gave me a pause. You know, you never think of your skin tone, how you speak, the way your hair looks, till certain things happen to you. And I didn't want to believe that that was the reason, okay? But it happened for so long, like 2-3 years, I couldn't get a job. And, you know, I'm a Nigerian lady, okay? No matter what other passport I carry, I'm a Nigerian lady. And the first thing that comes to a Nigerian woman's mind, even though we're working in a corporate environment, we always have a side hustle. So I started my own side hustle. I mean, this was very, very early. The first year, I told my friends, I'm supposed to be taking care of my kids because I have 2 lovely girls. And I was working so hard in the wine industry, in my wine store, that I didn't spend as much time as I wanted to with them. But I took this opportunity when we moved to Bordeaux that, okay, fine, I'm going to be the mom now. I'm going to be at home, take care of my girls. But of course, you get bored just being a mom. I will. And I started something called the Bordeaux Business Network, which is still existing.
Lovely.
It's a networking, you know, we get together to help English-speaking people in Bordeaux.
Okay.
So if you're an English speaker and you're an entrepreneur, we welcomed you and we try to give you advice. There were people to encourage you, because the French bureaucracy and a business, to start up a business is not easy. So you do need people to advise you on what to do, the steps to take and things to avoid.
Very, very, very important.
Yeah. So we started that with a couple of friends of mine. And it started from there. I decided, okay, you know what? Nobody's going to open the door for me. I might as well create a window for myself. And I absolutely did that. Ran that for nearly 2-3 years, but all in all, trying to break through into the wine scene. And would just go around with my camera, talk to some people.
Wow.
You know, just chatting, what's happening, how's business with you in Africa, blah, blah, blah. And By Rosa was born. And honestly, I can't emphasize enough this very point. For women, you want something, don't let anybody tell you no, don't let anybody tell you can't do it, oh, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but that's what makes it exciting and that's what makes it amazing when you succeed.
You sure?
Yeah.
No, I love it. And you've told us a lot there, so we'll break it down there. We'll break it down there. But let me first say this: I have no problem moving to Bordeaux to raise my children and sit in the vineyards. I have no problem doing that. Yeah.
You will get bored.
I mean, I will get, no, let me do it and get bored first.
Okay.
But I think it has a really nice ring to it. Imagine a girl from Kirinyaga living in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Where are you from in Nigeria?
I'm from Anambra State.
Yes.
I'm Igbo.
Igbo.
From the
people who like
seriously
money.
Igbo, who love to make money.
Who love to make money.
Yeah, we
There
love
you
to make
go.
money. Yeah.
Did you ever think you would live in Europe? And more specifically, of all the places in Europe, specifically in Bordeaux, was that a dream?
I've lived in London before.
Okay,
I've traveled
fine, okay.
a lot. But
So, okay.
Living in France, I've always wanted to spend time in Bordeaux because
Okay, cool.
I did my wine studies in Bordeaux.
In Bordeaux, there you go.
But you know, language always makes you think twice.
Think twice in the
But
market.
I was very comfortable in France, in Bordeaux especially. So I didn't want to move from Nigeria.
Okay.
But my husband played a very, he's a very smart man.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just said, what about Bordeaux? and
that was it.
The rest was history.
The rest is history. Yeah. Whenever I hear people have moved and it's not work, I ask them, who is he? If I'm talking to a lady, who is he? Or who is she? If it's a guy.
But he
friend,
wasn't a Bordelais. He didn't know Bordeaux himself.
At all. Okay.
He moved to Bordeaux because he knew, I think he understood that was the only place that would make
He needed an
move from
incentive for
Nigeria.
you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So Nigeria is not a wine country in terms of production.
At all.
Neither is Kenya, right? So, I mean, we grew with coffee and tea on our farm. And then I left that and went to study, this other foreign, crop in another country.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first interaction with wine at all, anywhere?
Oh, no, I'm lucky enough. I always, when I tell people this, they laugh at me. But I have an uncle who is an archbishop. He's still one. And he was in Italy.
Okay.
And I was supposed to study in Italy, actually, in Roma with him. But I didn't. My father is a proper African man. He was like, no, this one, when she goes, she's going to go marry a white man. So I didn't get to go, but he would come back with some nice bottles of wine.
There you go.
And me being the very inquisitive child, I was like, what is that?
What is that? Okay.
And I've always been interested in wine. I think from beginning, I was not a beer drinker.
Okay.
I wasn't into
that at all.
Into much of alcohol. So if I was going to drink, it would have to be wine.
You set your standards very high. Thank you. And we very much want to be like you.
Yeah.
And then, so I thought your name was Rosa.
I
Actually,
know.
this morning when we were having
I
the
know.
conversation, but you corrected me very well. So Wines by Rosa, why not Wines by Chinedu? Wines by Rita, Why did you choose that name?
Because my children said it's not all about you.
Okay.
We are also Rosa. So actually, it didn't come up that way. The fact of the matter is that Vines by Rosa, actually, for me, what it represents is, and in the vineyards, you have the roses that are like standing guard against diseases for the grapes,
they are planted at the sort of at the front of the line.
So I have always resonated with that plant, and my name being Rose and Rosa just made sense because the way I want Vines by Rosa to be placed, and hopefully that's what we're doing, is to stand like a guard against products of inferior products coming into Africa.
Sure.
Because I, as an importer, I knew how difficult it was for me to do quality control. So what I try to do is work with clients and partners who are as interested and they are committed to having just the best that they can provide for Africa.
For Africa, yeah.
You are not going to bring the worst of your vines or your grapes or your product to our continent. We do know wine. We do understand wine. We appreciate good wine. And there is no reason why when you want to send something to Africa or you want to introduce a brand to Africa, it's like you're bringing
don't bring low quality,
low quality doesn't work here. So Vines by Rosa, I decided that was something that was very, very important to me, that I can actually since I'm over on the other side,
Yes.
I can actually go taste those wines.
Sure.
So every winery that I work with, I taste their wines. I go through the process with them. I go to the vineyards. I make sure that whatever is being sent to Africa is as good as anywhere else.
Sure.
That is why Vines by Rosa. So that's the name.
Yes.
And that's the parallel to what Vines by Rosa means in the wine world now.
I like how we find meaning in our names or our situations.
No, like you just said, my name is Chinedu. So that means God guides me, God leads me, and there's power in the name.
There's power in the name.
There's power in the name.
Absolutely. Akinyi is also very powerful. Great. And I like the fact that you brought your children, because then there's also a legacy aspect.
Exactly.
Your partner, that there's also a legacy aspect in terms of that. Okay. So you have been very instrumental in bringing brands and making Africa, incentivizing people to come to Africa.
Yes.
There's money here. Of course, most importers before were focusing on international markets. Everybody was thinking about Europe itself, the East, China, America, and the like. What have you seen change since your business started? Because it has been how many years now?
Since 2016.
Okay.
For me, the most important change that I've seen is people taking African wine hub industry seriously.
Seriously, yeah.
And I mean seriously, because in the past, it was all about China. And I remember, this is something that it's very funny sometimes to me, but my children said, one of my daughter who is really interested in the wine industry, said, "You're a prophet." Because I was talking about all the rush to China. It's not sustainable. I don't believe the wine industry should neglect any part.
Sure.
If you're in business, every part of the world should be of interest to you.
To you, exactly.
Don't neglect, because you're selling well in one market does not mean you neglect the rest.
Yeah.
And that was all I was asking for. I said,
okay,
pay attention to Africa, pay attention to Nigeria, pay attention to Kenya. I know about marketing. I know about the marketing budgets that is created by all these big wine industries. Why don't you even give 10% of that to Africa?
To Africa, true.
I know what you spend in the US.
Yes.
I know what you spend in China. I know what you spend in other countries. In the UK, you have dinners, you have all that.
Why don't you do the
can
same?
you not just say, you know what? Let's just put 10% of that in Africa.
In Africa, very
and
true.
See the result.
See the results, yes. Because, okay, I guess one of the issues was purchasing power. But then we have proven that people can buy.
No, but you know the problem. I have a problem with that, because
population.
They always said purchasing power. I have been selling wines from the Grand Cruise for a long time, right? Nigeria was still one of the top champagne drinkers in the world. And I'm talking about 1999. 1999. My late husband, they were bringing Laurent Perrier. I mean, France, I've never seen people from where we were to where we are today. The rise is
exponential.
It's so much
exponential growth. Yeah.
So you cannot ignore it.
You cannot ignore it at all.
You can't.
And we have the population, because perhaps Asia had larger populations, but we also have that.
Yeah, but I think another problem was, yes, Asia has a large population, but there was this influx of money in Asia that they could see.
Sure.
The thing about Africa is that they don't understand that Africans, we show money, but we don't show money the way other people
do it differently.
It's a different way. So you need to come and learn how Africans spend their money.
Yeah.
And I think that is what a lot of them are doing now. And they are understanding, you don't bring your product to me and say, it is good for you. You bring your product to me and say, I want to offer you this. Then I will tell you,
let me decide.
This is okay, but I would rather have this.
True.
So that gives you a better and a clearer vision of what your client wants. The consumer is important. There is no way you're going to just sell something to me and I'll be buying it because you want me to buy it.
Sure.
If it doesn't resonate with me, if it's not to my taste, I would
You will not buy it at all. No, true.
I will not.
And I think my personal experience in how we thought things would go on the education side, for example.
Yes.
The Wines and Spirits Education Trust course is not a cheap course. You pay in excess of $300 for a one-day course for level 1, and something close to double that amount for level 2, and then it keeps increasing.
Yeah.
So for a long time, we thought we'll only be providing the low level. But in fact, the sort of intermediate course level 2 has been the most popular. And you're paying close to, over $500
yes, of course,
for 2 days, because it's important for people to have this education.
Yeah.
This year, actually, next month, we're going to have the 3rd edition of level 3, which is over $1,000.
Exactly.
You see, the fact that people used to have to travel before, now we can bring...
No, my friend had to go to London to pass her.
Exactly.
I was in France, but personally, I believe that the WSET should not be the only educational...
It's not the only educational
course. It shouldn't be the only one that people have to look at. We, Africans, we have to open other avenues for people who cannot afford
it. But then I was using that as this is also working here. Yeah. But I like the way you're thinking in terms of how do we fill the rest of the gap?
Because there's so many
other people
who are so talented. I've met bartenders, I've met waitresses, and we do master classes just one day, and you can see the way they are talking, the interest they have.
Yes.
So we are missing a lot of opportunities
as well
in creating the next generation of professionals.
Yes.
By having such expensive examinations. And this is something, I've said this, I've told this to a lot of my friends. I'm trying to, free education is something that is so important to me.
Very important.
Very important to me.
Very important.
So if there's any possibility to have the WSET give scholarships in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, which they're doing.
My level 3 was paid through a scholarship as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So we would appreciate that, but we also want it to go to the grassroots.
Totally.
Not somebody like they know you are already on the path. But there's some people who they just need somebody to say, "Oh my God, he's amazing." You know.
And we have
that would be really
and we have beautiful stories, but maybe that then can get us into an initiative you have, the Bordeaux Mentor Week.
Yeah.
I know there's been Kenyans who have been beneficiaries of the program. I know some have applied and not gotten in, but tell us a bit about that as well, because that is an in-country, in-region experience that you hold for people. Yeah.
Anyways, for the Bordeaux Mentor Week, this is something that is, like I said, education, free education. As much as we can, because I know everything is expensive. It was created by me and my very good friend Jane Anson, and we're actually we're nominated for the best sharing of knowledge.
Love it.
Awards during the Wine Paris. This will be holding on the 10th to the 12th of February, and the Bordeaux Mentor Week is something that came out of my frustration.
These frustrations are bearing fruit.
I'm telling you, that's why it's good for you to go through stuff like that, because if everything is handed to you,
labor pains birth children.
I mean, So we were having a conversation. Jane had come to me. She was interviewing me for an article in Decanter magazine, and we were talking about the difficulties of being different, diversity,
yes,
inclusion, and stuff like that. So she had interviewed me, and I was telling her my story. So my story is very, very deep, and I've just glossed over it because it's interesting when you need to motivate people. But it was a tough time, and I spoke to her honestly, and we were in my garden. And we had a very lovely chat. She was supposed to be there for 30 minutes. And like me and you, we have a great connection. My friend, we just bonded over a lot of things. Our passion for the wine trade, and for the fact that we need more people. Like, we need diverse people in this wine trade to keep it alive, right? So we spoke, and Jane, being who she is, she's such a sweet. I mean, she's the sweetest person you could ever meet, and she just said, "What can we do about this? What can we do about it?" I said, "Babe, this Bordeaux is not easy. Like, they don't. If you don't belong, you don't belong, and they will make sure you don't belong." So how do you open people's eyes to the fact that they are missing out by not employing people, or even giving people of another background the opportunity to come into their world? And that was what we thought about. And Jane is an amazing wine critic. If you don't know about her, go check her out. She wrote the Bible on Bordeaux. And she just thought about, we talked about it, and she said, "Okay, I have the clout I have, because this is,
you have influence.
This is what it's about. When you have a platform, knowing how to use your platform, knowing how to use your influence is key." She said, "Okay, this is what I can bring to the table, and this is what I know what I can bring." I told her, "Listen, this is it," and we just merged it together. And it became the Bordeaux Mentor Week. I work on making sure some things happen. She works on the other side. I'm in the trade. I'm in the sales. I'm in the marketing. So there are things she would not want to get involved with as a critic, because she makes sure she has a, there's a gap.
We each have a part to play.
Exactly. So there's a gap. She cannot be asking people for certain things. But me, I said, I'm not a shy person.
Getting sponsorship, getting opportunities.
Please, we need. So we were blessed enough to be picked up, honestly, because our first year we didn't even know what we were doing. We're just like, well, we're going to do it.
Yes,
we're going to do it.
And
we got lucky enough. We got sponsorship by the Gerard Basset Foundation, one of the top educational foundation ever, created in honor of Mr. Gerard Basset, who was a phenomenal sommelier and very, very into helping people. So that happened. That was how that relationship came about.
Awesome.
And they have been our greatest supporters so far.
You've done it for how many years?
It's gonna be our 4th year.
4th year now.
Yeah.
And each time you pick how many people?
We pick 8.
8 people from around the world, from Africa?
We pick
from around the world.
So what we try to do is to keep a balance. It's not only Africans that are, discriminated against. And I and Jane, we had said, we don't want it to be colorism.
Yes.
We want it to be really about diversity.
Sure.
So we have students from India, from China, from Hong Kong, wherever you are.
Yeah.
The most important thing for us for the Bordeaux Mentor Week is that you have challenges. This is something that a lot of people do not, when they are applying, sometimes they don't understand. They boost their CV.
Yes.
We're not employing you. We're trying to help
you.
Somebody who needs help.
Okay, got it, yeah.
It's not about giving somebody who is already, I am sated, I'm just looking for the next step. No, for us, it's giving somebody an opportunity which they might never have had.
Sure.
They might be a struggling sommelier, they might be somebody who wants to be a sommelier, but have not had the opportunity. So like we're talking about free education.
Sure.
We want to expose them to that and try to find somebody to sponsor them.
Okay.
This year, we were very, very lucky to have the Wine Scholar Guild give our students
scholarships as well. Love it. So it builds on to other things.
Exactly.
They come in September.
They come in September this
during
year.
harvest.
Yes, during harvest. So this year I think it's going to be from the 22nd or the 23rd to the 28th. It's normally 5 days, but we have them for 7 days. They come the day before, like a Sunday, and we start the program from Monday and runs it till Friday.
Awesome.
And Friday we have a fantastic dinner.
Love it.
Where they are introduced to other professionals in the wine trade. And one of the things that is really remarkable about this program is the friendship that is formed. It has become a big family.
Yeah.
And then even we have our own mentors. We have our supporters, people like Jean-Christophe Mero, who is the director for Chateau Belle from Belsier. Christian, these are people who are always there for us, and they're also there for our students.
Exactly. Okay. So you're creating a community, right?
Yes,
You're creating a community.
Yeah.
Love it. So Lorna, of course,
our sweet Lorna,
a doubly set student from Kenya, and also part of Team Wine Kenya. I think she was in the second lot. Her handle is Sip with Lonzi, and now she's based in Canada. We just love it. So, and we look forward to many more.
Yes.
Of course, I mean, these are part of the building blocks that build the community.
Exactly.
And I mean, I can talk about a client like WINENJIRU South Africa, who does a lot of work in Kenya and now in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Of course, they also come to Nigeria and Ghana. I can talk about By Rosa holding its second edition.
Yes, and that's why I'm here. Lucky me.
While we're here and we're pre-gaming for a long day of wine.
Yes.
There is, of course, the different embassies through
the agencies,
the agencies,
business agencies,
the importers themselves who even think about bringing in these products here. And of course, within the difficulties of doing business in Africa and moving around cargo, I know someone was saying earlier about even the samples for this show had to be shipped in, and of course, how much that costs you.
Of course.
But then I think it's so great to see this vibrancy. Just like you, 10 years ago, what Kenya was in terms of wine and what I see today. I mean, it's just amazing. And for an outsider, of course, right? For an outsider. And even within South Africa itself, which is a wine producing country, or even with our own Leleshwa wine, when I see the Tanzanian space in terms of that, I mean, it's really remarkable the things we do. And I like your focus on diversity and even women, because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'm just fighting like I am a business person and I want this to work.
No.
And I'm not necessarily fighting from a space where I feel there's all these barriers coming in. And if you have to do it, you just do it. And maybe sometimes the fact that it works is because you're who you are.
Exactly. And one of the things that is so important in the wine trade, and I see that a lot.
Yeah.
The women in the wine trade, they are exceptional. They really are. I mean, if for you to be in this field and be able to somehow break the surface, it takes a whole lot of work. And it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Because in our culture, women are to be seen, not be heard. Women are not expected to be bold enough to take on a winery. But I have
broken all the barriers.
that we are exceptionally good
yes.
in when it comes to wine. We have the taste, we have the temperance, because we don't get easily frustrated. So that's what I'm saying. Even a woman, when she gets frustrated, she doesn't just put her head down. She's thinking of the next thing. So out of that frustration, brings up a new idea, brings up something extraordinary. And I think for me personally, I am so motivated by the women I see before and after me. The ones coming behind, guys, watch out. They are not joking. And that makes me very, very happy.
There is some lovely gems coming up. Okay.
So much.
So this display is not just for display, because these are some of the brands you're representing here today. If you could just take us through the three wines briefly. And then the next question, in case I forget, of course I can reiterate, is if I'm starting a wine business in Africa today, what are some of the things I should consider? And we'll tie that to the panel you're going to be having soon. Next month. But let's start here, because people have been salivating. What are these things? And really, we're drinking water. Because we have a long day of wine coming up.
Today at the By Rosa, it's going to be really it's a tasting of some of the best wines from Italy. And for me, I'll be representing 3 of them. And I love family-owned wineries. And out of these 3, 2 are really, really small family-owned wineries, but huge as a company. We have Fina from a family in Sicily, wonderful family, and they are creating some of the most iconic wines. Kike is Kike is female.
Kike is their female.
It's beautiful. You know, coming here is so one of the. I love African languages because I told them when I first met them, Kike is a name in Nigeria. And then I come here, Kike means woman. So Kike means something in every language.
In every language, yes.
And it's such a beautiful wine. It's actually the nickname of the daughter of the winery. She's the only daughter in the family. The girl amongst the first, second generation. Her dad, Bruno, is a top wine producer. He's an amazing man. And he decided to grow Treminor grapes in Sicily.
In Sicily, interesting, yeah.
So this wine is like a burst of flavors, sunshine, clear, beautiful. It's a bestseller. Yeah, like everywhere we go, people
it's
like
a favorite.
It's a favorite.
And I'm already like hashtag Mimi Nikike.
Hey.
Hashtag Sisini Wakike.
I remember the marketing strategy already started. We were just tasting the wine. People were like, okay, I can see it. I can see it.
You can see it's a lot of hashtags.
It's a beautiful product. And
like you said,
yes.
And like you said, I mean, Gewürztraminer from Italy.
Yeah.
And then again, even the way the bottle is packaged is very unusual for that grape variety.
And they I think it just shows their personality. They're very warm people, very like so welcoming.
Love
it. And it's really a family passion. And I'm very, very happy. I'm very grateful that I have partners like this.
Super.
Yeah. And then the next one is Lambrusco from Modena, of course. This is also it's an iconic Lambrusco. They are one of the, it's a cooperative.
Yes.
But it's a cooperative that have been in families for a very long time. So it's a group of families who created this cooperative. And they work, honestly, they make the best Lambruscos. It's not a matter, a lot of people, when they hear Lambrusco, they say cheap, cheap, cheap. No, these are really well-made products.
Sure.
And their wine producer, Andre, very cute, very sweet boy. Young man, excuse me. He's a wonderful winemaker.
Sure.
And then we come to Bava. So these are really one of the oldest families in the wine industry. Bava is they're right in Barolo, and not only is Bava a family winery, it's been there from the 16th century.
Wow.
And Roberto Bava, who is the president of the company, wonderful maniac in the wine world. He juggles a lot of balls because he loves the Bava is also the mother company of Koki. Koki, I don't have a bottle here, but Koki is actually the top vermouth maker.
Okay.
In Italy. So these brands, I'm just happy to be representing them because they speak to what I say.
Sure.
They are very interested. They have been coming to Nigeria before.
Okay. So there's an importer established in Nigeria.
Yes.
But the reason why we're here in Kenya at this show is to get the same into the country.
Into Kenya, because we already have fantastic relationships here in Kenya. And we wanted to bring it to them. We want them to see that we are not going to be staying from afar and selling the product to you. My partner in crime, like I call him, Roberto Cardinale, he is with me in Kenya, but he had to run to go and set up for today.
But we'll get him on the back roll.
Yes,
he will be featured. He will be featured.
That will be great because he's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And we've had the opportunity to travel to Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and the spirit of these companies, you'll see it in him. It's all about happiness, creating friendship, creating memories.
Yes.
And really transmitting our passion to people.
True. I mean, we can of course not undermine the role of trade shows, right?
Oh, no.
But there's going to be like 40 producers in one room. And yes, we have the whole day, but it can be very overwhelming.
Very.
I mean, I'm a lightweight. And people don't believe me. I'll say, I'm a lightweight. And they're like, no, I mean, you do this work.
Yeah.
But like shows like this, you go for Cape Point, there's 1,000 producers on the floor. So I like that you had that activation 2 days ago, where you had this, some trade in a room having personal conversations, because then at least now it sticks, and maybe this is a strategy other producers need to use. As much as you're coming for a big trade show to ensure that there's other events, you've been having meetings.
Yes,
with a lot of distributors, a lot of the importers.
For me, trade shows are not what I'm
It is
here
important.
for.
We need that as much
No,
as
they're not what I am here for.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
I personally, I do better talking one-on-one with people.
Okay.
So when I go for trade shows, I will not just do a trade show.
You will always.
I always find an opportunity to have a sit down with my clients.
Sure.
By Rosa will be having the first time ever in Wine Paris. Our stand.
Yeah, love it. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you. And I will always find an opportunity to sit down with my importers and my producers. This is what wine is for me.
Sure.
It's a form of communication.
Yeah.
It's a form of appreciation of what Mother Nature has given us. And having that one-on-one time is when it sticks.
Got it.
It's when it sticks. Trade shows are very, very important because there is nowhere else that you can see 20, 40, 50, 8,000 producers in a place.
In a place, yeah.
So gatherings like that only helps to enhance the wine trade.
The wine show. But then now there's something very important you're also doing at that event on the 10th of February. You have a lovely panel of some African ladies.
I'm very lucky.
Karen.
Oh, there's
Karen
one
Martin.
guy. There's one guy.
There's a guy. Okay.
He's been feeling really neglected. Like I said, Africa is
the place
now.
to go. Yeah.
Africa is now. Africa has been now for 10 years.
Yes.
So if people are just waking up to it, okay, we will take it. But
you have to live stream that event for us. We're not coming to France.
I know. No, but
you,
they are not live streaming, but they have promised there will be a video.
A video that can be uploaded later.
And
because we got our girl. We have got our girl, Judy Ngene. From Galina
Judy
Wines.
Ngene is going to be there. I'm going to be having Jean. Jean Vito is one amazing wine producer that people do not know about. So Judy, my babe, she is like, I look at Judy and I say, this is what a young woman should be. We're talking of Africans taking the next generation to the next level, right? I spoke to her mom and I was just talking to her how proud I was of Judy. And she said, I was just having that same conversation with her in the car. When your parents set a path for you and you follow it and then excel and then exceed.
Exceed, yes. Yeah.
There is nothing better. Because that is setting, we as women, we need to empower our girls. There is no limit of what we can do, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
When people tell me about the glass ceiling, I say, I don't see any glass ceiling. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The sky, we will surpass it. As long as you're ready to do it and you have the support of your mom. I'm sorry, I'm being a little bit of a feminist
and her whole family, actually.
Yeah,
her whole family,
when I say your mom, and now having a wonderful husband who is there to be your backbone. Like, babe, I got you. If you don't have that, you cannot do anything.
Yes.
Your family, your support group, your sister, your family that you create, the wine,
the community.
We need each other, and I am so proud of her because she's just starting. She's just starting.
I mean, we featured her here 2 years ago. I think we need to refresh because now she has Lowly Wines and other brands in the market as well. But you also have another favorite of mine from South Africa on that panel.
We have Caroline Martin. So Caroline is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's for
Caroline
me,
Martin of creation.
I sit down and I'm thinking, I have all these wonderful women.
Love it.
And I said to Wine Paris, listen, I need to have a panel.
Love it.
I need one. It's not a matter of I want, I need it.
You need one, yes.
And they were like, you know what?
It's time.
Let's go.
It's time.
And they get this whole thing is being sponsored by Wine Paris.
Wow.
Vin Exposium.
This is the first time you have this kind of panel, and the show has been taking place over a long period of time, right? This is what we need. And it's funny because actually what is it called? Wine Vision by Balkan, that's held in Serbia.
Yes.
That Judy, actually, I think Judy was one of the pioneers because they're actually importing Serbian wines. Yes. And of course, the first time they went, we're like, where's Belgrade? Like, where's Serbia? Why are they there? But of course, there was a relationship with the High Commission here and the embassy at the time and all that. Anyway,
that's where it comes in. It's important.
They went the second time, right? And now this year, there was something happening there as well. And they thought, okay, maybe there's an interest in this. And of course, just going into that and learning about the Balkans and their wine and the culture, it was quite an eye-opener as well.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we cannot ignore any region and say,
not at all.
Whatever. So there's opportunities to have this. But I meant, right after we came back, I told Judy, you need to do a masterclass or something in the next Serbian whatever.
Yes.
And then of course when I saw this poster, I was like, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yeah,
the other thing I like about you, I think one of the first posts I saw, there was a pairing with Nigerian food in Bordeaux, right?
Very important. I do that in Paris and in Bordeaux every year.
And this is something also maybe tied to education, but also tied to inclusivity and the like. Whenever I tell people, I mostly drink wine at home, right? I tell them, if you see me in a restaurant, probably it's a work event, it's a sponsored event.
Yes.
But I want to enjoy wine in the comfort of my home.
Exactly.
Am I eating filet mignon at home? No. Am I eating oysters in I don't know what cream? No.
No.
What am I eating? I'm eating mokimo, I'm eating gederi, I'm eating matumbo, I'm eating kuku kienyeji.
Did you hear that? Yes.
Right? But I want to have kike with my kuku kienyeji.
Exactly.
Right? I want to have,
the lambrusco, have it with jollof rice there.
With jollof rice,
Oh my God, get some spicy food in the house.
Or the red. Okay, that's Ghanaian. Red is Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Or the snails.
We do it with every food.
You see, with the snails, with
every
whatever.
food.
Because I should make this a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to be like Coca-Cola that tells you they want you to drink Coke every day.
Oh God, no.
So you should have wine. I mean, that's what they say, but I'm saying you should have wine in your cabinet and have it every day, right? And be comfortable with having it with your local food.
Exactly.
And not having to wait for the day. And I mean, I love the wine and pairing dinners that are fancy. I love them. I went for one yesterday, actually. But it's still very important for us to be able to make wine so accessible. We're like, with matumbo, But that's what you're having every day.
But I'm going to do that because I started doing the food and wine pairing at the wine store in Lagos.
Yeah.
And you would not believe what we paired with. Do you know the akara, the bean ball that you fry?
Oh, the bean ball, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's beans and it's fried with champagne.
Hello.
Hey. I'm telling you, people were like, what?
Yes.
I have a list. I do food and wine pairing at home all the time.
All the time with your traditional
Every time
foods.
I cook, I try it out with some wines. And with African food, there is a wine for every food.
Everything.
There is a wine for every food.
True.
And this is why on the first day of the Wine Paris, at my stand, my chef, I have a wonderful, wonderful chef who is a sweet girl. She cooks, she does the food and wine pairing with me. So she will be making some exceptional African dishes. She's from Togo.
Wow, love it.
Togo, Beninoise origin. And she cooks different types of African food. So it's a way you can only know people by knowing their food.
True.
Their tradition, their clothes, how they like to be addressed. So one of the things I know French people we love is food.
Food
and
is
wine.
it. There you go.
Nigerians, we love our food. No matter where we go to, we will eat our food. So I said, okay, I'm in France now. what can I do that will be exceptional? What can be different? Because it's not going to be, like you said, filet mignon and beef bourguignon. I want something different. So we started pairing like I used to do in Nigeria. This is
who you are.
I've been doing it at home.
This is who you are.
I've been doing it with friends, but we just decided to open it up.
Open it up to
and so we did
else.
it. The first one was in Paris.
Love it.
Then did one again in June in Bordeaux. Another one in Paris. Another one in Bordeaux. And people were like, is this a thing now? I said, yes, it's a thing. But till today, it's not been sponsored.
But then, okay, so this is the first time it will be done.
I am doing it myself.
Your investment.
Well, right now, this year at Wine Paris, during the talk, it's going to be of 4 really amazing wine professionals who have been doing this for a long time. We have Mamadou Ndiaye, who is a wonderful dear friend, and he's one of the few black men. I think he was the first black man I met in the wine industry in
Bordeaux.
France.
Okay, in France as well.
In France as a whole. He was working with Champagne Collins, I think, and I was like, black guy. Okay, yes, he's French, but black guy.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. We assume that you have to be francophone.
Exactly.
Not necessarily anglophone, right?
Yes, exactly. But he was francophone, but he was like, to be even just the blackness of this man. He's a real black guy, very fun. Those energy. And I met him and I was like, okay. So there's one of you here already. So, okay, I'm not, I can get there. And he was one of the people who really spoke to me seriously about the wine trade and what he thinks I can do in it.
Oh, love it.
So I really admire him. I've known him since 2017 during the Vin Expo when it was happening in Bordeaux.
Okay.
So I've known him for quite a while. And then we have Jeanne Vito. Jeanne Vito is an exceptional winemaker. So she's a winemaker in Springfontaine.
Oh, love it as well.
And she's doing something exceptional that will be coming out this year, hopefully. She has planted vines in Togo.
No way.
Yes, and it's 5, we're going to 6 years. And she'll be doing the first harvest
from Togo
and making the wine.
Love it.
From Togo.
What part of Togo? My geography is not that great.
No. I don't want you to even talk about that because even me now, it just keeps erase that. Don't ask that question.
Sure, no problem.
But anyway, in Togo, and she is actually she's French because her family. She was brought up in Burgundy.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, and her dad had a love for wines and vines and was working in Burgundy. So she grew up amongst the vines. She's an exceptional woman and very, very inspirational because I read her story. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, Twani, she's American. But she works...
Twani Price.
Yes.
Is it Priest Price?
Yes, my Priesty girl. So Twani introduced me to Jeanne and she told me, you need to meet this lady. Both of you are doing such amazing things in the wine space, but she's a shy person and she needs her sister to push her forward. And I'm like, that's my job.
That is your job,
Let me see her. And she'll be with me during Wine Paris. And then of course, Caroline, the famous Caroline Martin of Creation Wines. If you don't know this brand, you really need to find out more about them. They are amazing, beautiful place, wonderful wines, and she is just top notch in her profession. She's an amazing woman, and having these people on this panel is going to change the mind of a lot of people. We already booked full, like there's no space.
Love it.
It's complete, and I'm still having requests from journalists to come join the talk. This is why
you'll have to get bigger capacity.
I don't know.
You'll just have to get a bigger room.
I don't know. So we're going to be having, but this is from the back of even talking in Pro Wine in Brazil, which was an experience that really rocked me to my core. It really did. It was like no other talk I've ever done in my life. And that was why I was insisting that I want to do this in Paris, in the European space, because when I had the talk in Brazil, it wasn't the panel, it was just me, and it became very personal. I could see and feel the pain of a lot of the women who have been. Brazil is something.
When were you? So was it proven last year in Brazil?
No. Actually, I went specifically to Brazil. I think it was in September.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a Pro Wine Sao Paulo.
Yes.
So I went for that, and I just went specifically to just give a talk.
Love it.
On the wine trade and wine Africa, you know. But it became a session, like it was so surreal.
Was it about? Is it therapeutic?
It was therapeutic for the women, for me. I could there's so much. It was. I hear about being discriminated against. I grew up in Africa, in Nigeria, where nobody can discriminate against me, not me, you know? And we hold each other accountable for that. In Nigeria, it's one thing that maybe that's why people say Nigerians are a bit...
they're very assertive.
We're very assertive. It's because we grew up in a society where everybody's equal. I don't care how much you have, you're not better than me. So, and I think we take that into everything we do. It's not a matter of being aggressive. It's not a matter of being thinking that it's not even overconfidence. It's just that I believe in who I am. Whoever you are just another human being like me, and I would speak to you as just another human being. And I was in Brazil, and I could feel that there was this unseen blanket over these women.
Wow. Powerful.
Right? And they were telling me things that was, some of them were resonating, but I could not understand a lot of it. But then I was thinking to myself, this is 2024. It was 2024. And these women are feeling this way. I met one, and her story was dumbfounding. She is of Indian, the original South American indigene from the Amazon. She's an Amazonian, gorgeous woman. She was crying when I was speaking. And we practically looked at each other, and both of us, tears was running down our eyes, because she was saying, you cannot imagine the kind of bias and discrimination I face because I want to create a wine in the Amazon. Like, they're not giving me even a space. They don't want me to even dream about it. So everything that could be done to crush that dream is being done. And I was like, what? This is your home. This is your country. Right? But this is things that we who live in Black Africa, who, thank God, we might not have gone through maybe racial discrimination, but in Brazil, it's huge. It's huge, yeah. Colorism is huge. So I was taking all that energy. I got that energy. It was strong. And I have my mentee there. Her name is Andrea. And this young lady, she's amazing. If she was white, she would be heading something spectacular. But because of her color, it was so, like, she was lining out her CV, her experiences. And this is somebody any company should be jumping, doing somersaults for her to work for them. So I told her, like I told myself, create your own space. And do so well that those people who refuse to employ you plead to work with you. And then it's your time to decide yes or no. You have to claim your power back. It's only when you do this that you can be healed, because it does take a lot out of anybody to be made less than what they are, especially when they know they are qualified. I'm not saying, and this is one of the stories I'm hearing, oh, because you're black, is it because you're black? Excuse me, is it because you're white that you think you have the right to have all these things? We studied the same. Let the best person with the best qualification get the job, not because of the way the person looks or the way the person speaks.
That is a lot. That is a lot. And what was most evident is how, I mean, you've been very bubbly.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole interview.
When it comes to this,
but,
yes.
But this particular topic, that particular experience clearly was so profound, and the energy just changed, you know? And I mean,
I am teary even thinking about it, honestly.
And I mean, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. It's a lot to unpack. Yeah? It's a lot to unpack. But I think related to the theme, I mean, I'm not trying to belittle it or to let the moment pass. It's like,
but we're getting there.
Even in the beginning, when you've been talking about frustrations that have birthed experiences and whatever, and I guess the Provine led to the Vin Paris thing, and there is more to come. But I think what I'm also hearing is, and I think you've also mentioned this before, the whole thing about create a platform for yourself. In the place you are, where you have been placed. Do not say, I am not. Do what you have to do.
Make your own space.
In spite of, despite of, and all those things. And of course, you know, so many things creep on that can be discouraging.
Of course.
But we have to keep soldiering on and pass through this.
And that makes you a better person.
A better person,
I tell people today, if I hadn't gone through the trials and tribulations I have in my life, which are a lot, this smile that you see every time I'm bubbly and this is not just because I am happy with with who I am or I'm a happy person. It's because sometimes I just sit down and reflect on the kind of hurdles that I've crossed. And I'm like, whoa, girl, you did that.
You did that, yeah.
You did that. So no matter what anybody else says to me, I need to pat myself at the back sometimes and say, okay, take it easy. If something is frustrating you right now, take it easy. You've gone through worse. So you can definitely do it again.
And soar.
And soar.
And soar and soar. And multiply, right? Multiply
Definitely.
with all the other people who are inspired by what you're doing.
Exactly.
And you know, in a way you have made it easier for them.
We hope, you know, and this is why the mentorship program is so important to me. Our students come for 1 week, but that's not it. There's that connection with them forever. They can call on us, they can ask questions, they can ask for introductions, because this is the only way you can build the next generation.
Sure.
There's a lot of people who already have, but there's more have-nots. So what kind of society is it that the have-nots cannot have? I don't think it's the right society.
No, not at all.
And if you can be part of getting the have-nots to have, you've just come one step closer to making the world a better place. So.
And that is what we're doing, right? One glass of wine at a time.
One glass of wine at a time.
Yo.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to continue in that direction, but unfortunately, I mean, this is just the beginning.
No, definitely.
We're going to come for part 2. The next time we're recording.
Oh my God.
The next time we're recording this, we're going to be in Bordeaux. But just thank you so much for sharing that with us. Just in closing now, give us any parting shot you want. Any parting shot of, this is what you need to think about. These are the trends. Anything you want to tell us?
For me personally, I just want to say a big thank you again to all my Kenyan sisters, Soraya, Victor, Vicky. I'm going to call you Vicky so that people do not did not make a mistake about who I'm talking about. You know, you're just amazing. You've made coming to Kenya, you were key to it because you kept at it. When are you coming? When are you coming? And Joy, you cannot be too strong and you cannot be too weak because you will have all those characteristics around you when you have your sisters around you. And I'm very blessed. You people have no idea how touched I am. For a day, it was raining. It was raining. Heavy rain. The traffic was totally jammed. And we managed to pull a beautiful tasting with amazing people like you. So I just want to say thank you, Nairobi. It's been an honor, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to come back. I will be back.
You will be back. No, definitely. If we have anything to do with it.
I'll be back. And if you are coming, I don't know when this is gonna air, but if you did not join us this year at the By Rosa, be rest assured we will be back. And if you're ever in Europe, please give By Rosa a shout out, and I will definitely say a big hello to you and welcome you to Bordeaux anytime.
Meskia, Karibi Bordeaux.
Yes,
Karibi Bordeaux.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
There's
so many lessons we've learned. We can see your resilient spirit, a business born out of, losses in your life, but you were still able to continue with your legacy. We can feel your pride and joy in promoting inclusivity in the sector. And just your love for Africa shines through.
Oh, yeah.
I love the energy and the fact that you even accepted this on such short notice.
Oh no!
And are able to give us a profile. We are very, very honored.
No, thank you. Really.
And thank you, our viewers. If you haven't subscribed yet, this is the kind of stuff you're missing out on. There's treats like this and many more. Talking about, primarily wine business, but clearly we delve into other deeper issues of what it takes to run a global business, how to transform, what diversity requires of us to do, and even just our personal struggles. But you hear Africa is hot, and now we have to run to Shamba for the By Rosa second edition in Nairobi. Yeah. So, ta-da! Stay safe and dry in Nairobi rain. Goodbye. All the best.